A bold statement was made by Publicis Group's new chief, Arthur Sedon, at the Cannes Lions this year. He said that the Publicis Group will be taking a one-year sabbatical from all awards. And this money would in turn be used to fund Publicis' newly developed artificial intelligence system, Marcel, aimed at simplifying the group's global working mechanism. No doubt a lot has transpired within the group over the last 18 months, right from leadership changes to an internal reorganization to the anti-award stance. So I caught up with the Publicis Worldwide's Chief Creative Officer, Bruno Bertelli, during his recent visit to India to help decode the flurry of changes within the Publicis Group. Take it away. Thank you so much for joining us, Bruno. Truly a pleasure having you on Brand Equity.
Thank you.
Well, I have so much to cover because so much has happened. I'm going to get straight to the controversial bits. So, as you're aware, this year in Cannes, Arthur Sedon made a statement that Publicis will no more participate in, awards festivals. So there's really a complete pullout, and that, of course, was a shock for many people.
Yeah.
Tell me where that thinking came from. How long have you guys been thinking about this, and what was the trigger?
So since I became a global CCO, I gave a perspective, which is to focus on big clients, on the main clients. I have a program which is called the 3+1,
okay,
which is meant to put the best talents working on the biggest clients. It's too easy to produce good work on charity stuff, pro bono, and the problem with Cannes that you see almost 50% of the awards given to that kind of work.
Absolutely.
Which is I don't think is fair. So the point of view is Cannes, as also Martin Sorrell said, winning awards can be actually effective also for business. But we need to create a linkage even stronger between creativity and results.
Okay.
So today in Cannes there are more and more clients coming and attending. But we need to prove that creativity sells, and to do so, we need to do it on big clients, on big accounts. So I think pulling out for 1 year was a way to rethink actually the awards system. But also internally, we wanted to reorganize ourselves in order to be ready to be even stronger next year. But I think the message also was, guys, we need to focus on the business, which is linking, as I said, linking creativity with business is the key thing.
So, your 3+1 program that you've started, when you say that your best teams or your best talent needs to work on your 3 biggest accounts, are you saying that is something that doesn't happen? So, you're saying that the best talent is working on what then?
It's working on small campaigns, charity work.
Or to win awards?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And for example, I was president of the outdoor jury this year, and my main message was we cannot, judge at the same level pro bono work with work done on big and difficult clients.
Can you tell me a little bit about Publicis' artificial intelligence initiative, because it's really quite interesting and different. So if you can tell me what Marcel, which I believe it's being called, is all about.
So basically, it will be a way to connect all the talents around the world on the relevant projects.
Okay.
So identifying talents, spread all around the world and putting them together to work on a specific project on specific clients.
I see. And why is this important?
It's crucial because today it's all about who's working where on what. So, and we have like 3 networks, gigantic, with more than, I think, 80,000 people spread around the world. So it's all about identifying the right talent on the right clients, on the right account, on the right projects.
Right.
Today, the big difference is in the past you used to receive a brief, work on a print or work on a TV commercial. Normally 1 to 3 months maximum. Now, project lasts like 1 year, 2 years, even. And it's all about actually collecting, gathering, putting together people from different experiences, adding actually their values, on top of it throughout the time.
So, obviously, you will save a lot of money by not participating in awards this year because it's a costly affair. So, Is that money going to be invested in Marcel?
I think so, yes. So for 1 year, all the money normally dedicated to awards will be actually used to fund Marcel, yes.
If you could explain to me in detail, what is Power of One, and how you've consolidated your agencies, and what was the need for it?
It's the best way to serve our clients.
Okay.
So the Power of One is meant to actually to use all our sources and forces actually to help the clients. So depending on their request around the world, especially on global clients, between media, PR, advertising, it's all about, as I said before, collaboration, working together on big projects. So the idea of Power of One is really to collaborate more when it's possible, obviously. Just to give an example,
sure.
On Heineken, we got the account globally, but not, and Heineken is 192 countries. In not all the countries, for example, Publicis is present.
Right.
So in some cases, actually, I'm working with Leigh Terry, like in Spain, for example. It depends on the countries. But the idea, again, is to help Heineken to cover all the work, to protect the network, and to help working together all the agencies. Yeah.
The Publicis, the group, would you say today, how much of your work in percentage points is digital versus traditional?
I would say 50 and 50.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The projects are really consolidated together, are really integrated since the beginning. So, for example, on Heineken, the digital team and the ATL team work together since the beginning of the project, planner included, because we have this mantra which is called mobile first. Everything that we think should be first, should be mobile friendly.
That's interesting you say that. So in the digital pie, how much of that percentage is mobile today?
I don't know the numbers.
Approximately.
I would say 50, yeah.
50% is mobile?
I think so.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
And this is coming from which markets?
Europe for sure, all Europe, UK, France, Italy, also in Asia. We
really?
We're getting there. But it's more, it's more like the way global clients now approach, their markets, which is, for example, the way I work on a global level, on a global development, and then it depends on the media plan for each country. But the idea is to provide them an entire ecosystem.
You were at Cannes this year, and you were also the president of the outdoor jury.
Yeah.
Can you give me the key trends you saw in the creatives this year vis-a-vis the previous years, the new trends you saw?
I think communication is no more about specific product feature or benefits. It's all about the brand. Today, actually, the intention is to create like a brand leverage, to create brand love, and to communicate inspiring messages related to the brand. So I see more and more communication related to the brand, more than trying to sell shoes because of a specific feature or whatever.
After a 1.5 year stint, what would be your observations, and where is your vision to take this agency?
As I said, focus on big clients. I think Publicis is very strong on a strategic level.
Okay.
And in consolidating relationship with their clients. So we have clients that are with us we've been with us for many years.
Sure.
I think now it's also a question of integrated with digital and especially PR. Everything is PR led.
Is it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Today, it's all about the fame that you create with the project, how it gets spread around.
So, are you then saying that tomorrow PR is going to become more important than advertising?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%. The mantra should be: don't show me the script, show me the press release.
Fair enough. 3 things that we're going to see from you for the Publicis, agency across the world by the end of 2017.
So, a new big Heineken campaign for Enjoy Responsibly.
Okay.
A new strategy for Renault, which
okay.
is very powerful and very important, and a new TVC from Nescafé. Yes.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Bruno, and hopefully we'll meet soon with some big news from your end, and of course Publicis, reigning very high under your tutelage.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back. The show's called Brand Equity, and I'm Sonali Krishna. Now, IPG Mediabrands, the media arm of the Interpublic Group, has been on a good wicket in India. But the group feels it's time to ramp it up further and is looking at a host of acquisitions to increase its scale and size. The focus being acquisitions that range from analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning space, and of course, digital. Well, joining me right now on the show is none other than Leigh Terry, the IPG Mediabrands APAC CEO, to throw some light on what we'll see from the IPG Media stable going forward. Firstly, thank you so much, Leigh, for joining us on Brand Equity. Truly a pleasure having you.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, first things first, what brings you to India?
There's a few reasons why I'm here. A, to obviously catch up with the team, because we've got a phenomenal operation here. And to see the work, which I've already seen so much of, that the rest of not just the APAC network but the global network treats with a lot of pride and looks to replicate. But there's a couple of things structurally that we're looking at, one of which, obviously given the strength of our position in the marketplace, being a very, very strong number two, that Shashi and I have been discussing how we can look to further leverage that position from an investment perspective. And certainly capitalising upon some of our most recent wins, which have had very much analytics and CRM at the heart of those wins, how we can look to ramp up our capabilities and our team strength in those areas. We've already got strong teams, but it's certainly an area where we're looking to develop both organically as well as by acquisition. The leverage that we already have with the media owners as a result of being such a strong number two, we're looking to further leverage that position and launch Magna, our global investment arm, here in India. So we'll effectively have three areas under that, one of which is obviously investment from a media deployment perspective. The other is intelligence, and the most exciting for me is the innovation arm. And how we can look to further develop innovation in strategic trading and investment.
Right. I'm particularly interested in the investment arm you're talking about. What's really the role going to be of that investment arm in India?
Essentially, first and foremost, I see clients don't spend money.
Right.
Clients invest money inherently expecting a return on it. And I think in the same way as professional financial services and fund managers look at whenever they're looking at investments either of their own funds or on behalf of clients, it's very much through a rigorous interrogation of risk horizon, likely return. And I think as a result of some of the assets that we've produced globally within Magna, I think it's the perfect time for us to be deploying them here in India. I think what that's going to mean is a step change and an evolution in some of the tests that we look to do with media owners and with clients. It's very much a collaborative effort, but I think it's something where, as the marketplace has continued to change, as you well know, it just opens up opportunities that we can look to leverage our wider investment footprint, certainly in India, but also across the APAC region, so that we can get some marketplace firsts and actually work with these businesses to develop technologies that advertisers simply haven't seen before, and we can deploy them on their business, hopefully to give them a disproportionate return on investment.
Leigh, you've also talked about acquisitions, which gets us all very excited. Could you throw some light on what areas or your focus is really going to be on in terms of acquisitions?
Again, I think the way, certainly a lot of my background has been digital and direct marketing. So certainly through the lens of my career and where I see the future of the business going, a lot of the areas where we're looking very much in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and CRM. So it's a combination of as the world becomes more digitized and there's more addressable media, how we can look to capitalize upon that through higher value audiences, and certainly through our agency brands, and Initiative. At the heart of both of their agency propositions are analytics, so it won't surprise you that that's very firmly the area that we're looking at those acquisition opportunities in.
You know, it's interesting because the IPG Mediabrands globally has so many brands across verticals. Are you also looking to bring any global brands that are currently housed within IPG Media globally?
Absolutely. I mean, I think as you will already know that networks only work when you know the people within them, and the strength of a network is absolutely galvanized by having global brands. It not only attracts other global brands to the proposition, but it also attracts staff, and we're very much a people-led and people-first business. So the more opportunities that we have to not just win global pieces of business, truly global pieces of business, such as Johnson & Johnson, but also to extend our footprint with phenomenal brands that we work with in many markets, but not exclusively. So how we can extend our footprint with the likes of Coca-Cola and BMW is absolutely top of our list of priorities, and the more of those brands that we can bring to India, the better. Obviously, just in the last couple of months, the team have done a phenomenal job in winning both the BMW business as well as the Sony consumer electronics business, which again further solidifies not just the strength of the local business, but the confidence that those global advertisers have in us as a business.
Leigh, you're a recent entrant within the IPG family, and I believe you spent close to 2 decades in Omnicom. Why would you move from Omnicom to IPG? What was the big trigger?
It's a great question, and it was a very difficult decision for a couple of reasons. In no small part because I was within Omnicom for 19 years and enjoyed pretty much every single minute of it. I've got some phenomenal memories, some phenomenal friends there. I think, again, right time. Serendipity plays an awful lot of importance within decision making, and one of the things that I recognised in myself when assessing the opportunity was my father's a carpenter, and I think I recognised in myself that I'm much more a builder than I am a manager, and I think the business that I was responsible for and built over a number of years in Australia and New Zealand, it'd been phenomenally successful, great growth, great culture, great people. It was about, to me, 95% absolutely where I wanted it to be. So it was the right time to step out and let somebody else look to take that business onto another level. But I also saw the opportunity within IPG as a holding company, but also Mediabrands as the media arm. The untapped potential of what Mediabrands has to offer globally, but certainly within APAC, and the importance of APAC cannot be underestimated within a global media network. The opportunity was just too good not to have a go at.
Well, Leigh, 19 years at Omnicom and, still finding your way at IPG. You're the best person I could ask this question. Omnicom versus IPG. What would be the fundamental difference between the two holding companies?
Part of the appeal, and thankfully it's played out over the last 6 months, my observation from being on the other side of the fence to now being inside the fence or inside the tent, they're actually very similar organisations, both entrepreneurial in spirit. It is surprisingly similar culturally. I think one of the things that is different, because you're right, after 19 years, the quickest and most obvious thing to do is to compare. Some of the market footprint is obviously very different. Mediabrands is an absolute powerhouse here in India, whereas again in certain other markets, Omnicom has a greater strength and scale, and certainly some of the global pieces of business that they have more of in this region. It's allowed them to invest more in regional areas, but it's the vast majority of it is similar, and where there are differences, there's always opportunity.
If I could ask you to remove your IPG hat for a moment and ask you to analyze the APAC region, would you say that the market has under-delivered or is on track? And I'd really appreciate your candid response to this one.
I think there is still a lot of undelivered promise across APAC as a whole. But I think anybody that still considers APAC as emerging as opposed to emerged is possibly missing a trick. One of the things that, I don't know whether it's in your calendar for next week, but it's in mine, that Fortune should be releasing their new Global 500 list in terms of the top 500 companies by market cap as to where they're headquartered. If you look at that list from last year, whilst the USA had the most companies, over the last 15 years, China's gone from having about 3 or 4 to now having 110. If you add in all of the other ones across Japan, Korea, some in Australasia, APAC is absolutely where almost the centre of commercial access is starting to change, and that's not saying that from an advertising perspective the US still isn't absolutely the largest market, but I think we only have to look at where population are, the relative growth of advertising economies, and you look here in India, the latest Magna report puts that this year alone that the Indian advertising economy is going to grow by 11.5%. There's a lot of Western markets that would give their eye teeth for that type of growth. So I think there is still massive growth here in Asia, but it's coming at a rapid rate of knots, which is why we absolutely need to be ready for it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Leigh. It was truly wonderful chatting.
Thanks. All the best. Bye.
With that, we're completely out of time. We hope you enjoyed the show. To take the time and drop us a line at brandequity@etnow.tv, or alternatively, log on to our Facebook page, that's facebook.com/brandequity, to dip into our archives or simply start a conversation with us. You could do the same on Twitter @brandequitylive. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, sayonara.